Well, we brought her to the farm. So I have Nick here, and Nick is a product specialist with Case IH for sprayers?
Application products.
And Nick actually, besides being Nick, is actually a fellow Montanian. He's only about 3-4 hours down the road.
Yep.
Big Sandy, Montana. So we grew up on a big wheat farm, and you guys are still running it, right?
Yep.
So you do 2 jobs.
I guess. We try.
I don't know how you do it. It's good, but Nick brought us a little toy to play with, and this is the new 50 Series Patriot. So the 4450, correct?
This is the big one. 135-foot booms, 1,600-gallon tank.
And this is quite a revamp from previous Patriot models, correct?
About 80% of the sprayer is new.
Oh, wow.
Compared to prior versions.
So it's almost a whole new platform ground
Yes,
up.
it is. Other than the tank and the booms, we have a lot of new content on these machines.
Exciting. So I hear this thing can cover a lot of ground quickly. So
we have a new suspension, and it can pound through the acres
so
very fast.
I can go 20 miles an hour with 135 feet.
No problem.
No problem. We're doing it.
So as far as the development process with this new sprayer, you can see the new look and the new feel for the Case IH Patriot machine. Going forward, this is going to be the new look for Case IH. So this is going to be rolled over onto the tractors, combines, the other platforms. So the Patriot sprayer got tapped with the new look for Case IH right out of the gate. So as you can see, the new lighting up on the front grille. So it's all LED lights all the way around. This machine is equipped with the deluxe lighting package. So you can see the lights up on the side of the roof. We also have blue LED lights that shine underneath the booms at night so you can see your spray pattern. The lighting package on these machines are very impressive. Another nice thing that the engineering team did was they re-engineered the rinse tank on top of the machine, and that's critical for the machines that run the 1,600-gallon tank, because prior to the 50 series on the 4440 machines, our machines got very tall. So by re-engineering that rinse tank on top of the product tank, the engineering team really flattened that tank out, got our height down, so now we can get in a lot more sheds. We can put the machines on the truck without being over height. One of the other big improvements with this new 50 series machine is we have a completely new hydrostat system. With the hydrostat system, we also have a new drive hub. One thing special about these new drive hubs is the fact that we have a speed sensor in each hub. And the capability that gives us is we have an active traction control system. So equipped on this 4450 machine is we have our VSN camera system. So this camera is an assistance to the guidance system. So this is mainly used in row crop applications. This camera will pick up the rows in the row crops and will assist the guidance in steering and staying between the rows and following the rows. So right here we have our new front fill system. On this system, we have a flow meter under the machine that will actually monitor the gallons that we pump into the machine. As we pump the gallons into the machine and the product into the machine, it will populate on this monitor. It will also populate on the display in the cab automatically. Another big improvement that I like to show people is how they cleaned up the back end of the motor on these 50 series machines. So we got rid of an entire gear case on the back side of the motor. We used to have a gear increaser on the 40 series machines that we had to service, change oil in. We now only have a single hydro pump and a single hydraulic pump. So it really cleaned up the back end of the machine here. So coming down here, we now have what's called a air ride 4-bar link suspension. So we have 4 large pins that carry the machine. There's a pin here, a pin here, a pin down here behind this shield, and a pin here.
Oh, wow.
So those 4 pins carry that system and carry the machine, and they will collapse upon themselves, and we'll demonstrate that here when we drop the air. So I'll get ready to dump this valve now. With the new design of the engine cowling and the engine hood, we have a new hood. We got rid of the clamshell design, went to a single compartment hood, opens up, gives us good access to the top of the motor. So the new 50 series machine, it comes with the new AIM Command Flex 2. So this is our 2nd generation of AIM Command Flex. This system is built by Raven, And with Aim Command Flex 2, we have a new NCV, which is a nozzle control valve. So this new NCV and Aim Flex 2 are capable of pulsing twice as fast as our prior generation Patriots. Another nice feature of Aim Flex 2 is the fact that we've really increased the capacity and the capability of flow through these NCVs. So we've picked up the flow capabilities by 17%. So on the back side of the machine, we have a nice little nozzle cleaning station that's been developed on this new 50 series machine. So we not only have compressed air back here for blowing nozzles and tips out, we also have clean water as well. The new 50 series machines have the new AFS Connect Steiger cab on them. Every model of the 50 series machines will have this same cab design. We no longer use the Magnum cab on the sprayers anymore. All sizes of the product will have the Steiger cab.
All right, Nick. Thanks for loading onto the sweet machine.
You bet, anytime.
I suppose I probably go down on some acres with it. You guys
Sounds good.
think we should? All right, let's go spray. Well, I just hit the field, cruising down to the spot where I'm gonna spray here. And this thing is really smooth. That 4-link airbag suspension on this 4450 definitely is different than the 4440 that I ran a couple years ago. It just floats. So let's see what happens when we get going and actually spraying. But right now I'm going across the furrows. Normally this would be pretty rough, and it is not. It is smooth. Really nice. All right, let's swing the booms out. So these are those 135 aluminum booms. They actually only hinge on 2 points in the center. So it's not like a trifold, it's a bifold, I guess you could say. So press the button here. Now, to swing that out, it's got to fold backwards first. So as it's coming out, then it swings the second half of the boom out backwards. So you don't want to be against anything. If you're against a power pole or a building, you're backed up against something, you do it, it probably hits. So you got to make sure you're clear behind you. But we're good to go. Let's turn on the auto boom. We be spraying. Wow, that's a lot of boom. That is a lot of boom out there. That's awesome. I love it. Oh, it makes me nervous. Seems like there's something, I don't know, I feel like it's gonna drag, but it's not, because it's amazing how well it floats above the ground. There's little sensors that detect the level between the ground and the boom, and as the ground level changes or the sprayer tilts and moves, because there's accelerometers inside the sprayer, it figures it out and goes, hey, I need to lift that boom up a little bit. So it lifts it up a little bit, and sets it back down, lifts it to the side, sets it back down. Just maintains a really consistent height over the ground. Now what's nice about this is it's got presets for speed. So I've got a 10-mile-an-hour speed. So I'm getting towards my headland. I'll tap it. Automatically, I'm slowing down to 10 miles an hour. So now I can make my turn so I'm not whipping that boom out at, you know, mock chicken at the end. Turn my headland turn here. Get lined up. Press the preset number 2 on my multifunction handle. And back up to 19 miles an hour. So with the current nozzles I have, I'm doing 7.5 gallon work. Spraying broadleaf in the spring wheat right now. I can only go at 70 psi max speed of 19 miles an hour to be within the most efficient zone of spraying the 7.5 gallons per acre. So that's what I'm doing. But 19 miles an hour is booking. They say I can do 20 some miles an hour, 20, 24, 25 if I was doing 5 gallon work. I don't know. There's power lines in this field. I don't know if I can handle 25 miles an hour, but it is. 19 feels fast. Get a lot easier to spray here if someone did decide to build a house in this location. Obstacles. Wasn't here last year. They're pouring this foundation right now. Like, I was pretty excited about that. I'd be pretty excited too. Mine's not far behind, but that's cool stuff to see it happen. All that planning. And there's a house being built. I'm excited for them. That's some thin looking wheat down there. Oof. It's amazing how patchy it is. Just changes depending on where you're spraying, but man, some hilltops there's like nothing growing. Other times it's a decent stand. That is amazing. Quite a year. Quite a year. A lot bigger tank behind me here. This is a 1,600 gallon tank. Got a sight glass right here with a float. And you can get most of the tank with that, but honestly, you'll be spending most of your time watching the gauge right here. Says we've got 1,214 gallons left in the sprayer. That's gonna be the most accurate thing. It is nice though to have a backup just in case you want to confirm that what's saying on there is what's in your tank. Just in case for some reason there's a malfunction or a misreading or something or another. It happens. On our sprayers at least sometimes. But it is nice. It's right there. Here's a little ditch right here. See what happens to the boom. Nothing. Okay. Now the 4450 has an upgraded hydrostatic system over the 4440 and below. It's a single pump system, so only one pump, less moving parts. That's nice. What they've done is they've eliminated the need for two pumps, which had a gearbox and all kinds of stuff, and the pumps had to be timed. This system, a lot more simple, but it is quiet. Extremely quiet. I know they've done a good job with this cab. This new cab is definitely quiet, but I don't even hear the engine. I just hear the hydrostatics running a little bit here and there. But I mean, you can whisper in here and carry on a conversation. And it's pretty improved. They've also improved your traction control system with that. Being able to deliver power to the wheels as needed if one's slipping and one's not. It's a little more refined, a little more efficient than the previous generation. So I don't think we're gonna have any issues getting stuck in any mud because we're lacking water in general on this farm. But if you were, this one's supposed to do a lot better job. Man, we're burning through product. Just past 1,000 gallons, that's 600 gallons down, and I feel like I just got started. That's what 135 feet does at 19 miles an hour. That's amazing. I need to figure out how many acres per hour we're doing here. Let me see if I can figure this out. So, at 135 feet going 19 miles an hour, I'm covering 280 acres per hour. Got about 5,000 acres of crop to spray. That's not gonna take very long. A couple days, this will be wrapped up. I don't know what to do. I guess I go build a house. Wow. I think with our other sprayers running about 15 miles an hour at a 100-foot boom, we're doing like 130 acres an hour or something. It's pretty amazing. Speed. Just laying it out there. Kids, they put their cannons away for once. Where does Case IH recommend putting a bowling ball? In the cab? There's lots of windows. That could be a bad thing. Let's try the toolbox, see if it fits in there. Oh, I think we're gonna work here. If you're an engineer from CNH Industrial and you helped design that box, I'm sorry. It's the only place I can think of. We don't leave bowling balls in our fields, and I'm probably gonna forget where that's at, so sorry. All right, there we go. There went 1,600 gallons in a very, very, very short amount of time. I think we need to get a bigger tank on this sprayer. Or I just need to slow down and not go 19 miles an hour. That might help too. But that is fun. Oh, I get used to this. So now we're in last year's canola. Some of the better canola out of the canola we had, which was really sad last year. The spring wheat's actually not terrible in here. I mean, it's still patchy, but the stuff that is growing has got a decent stand to it. I mean, if it can get a rain in the next 4 or 5 days, it might have a chance to actually make something. And they're forecasting it, again, for the 5th time. We've had 4 major storm forecasts that have completely flopped. So this is the 5th. They're saying a lot, so we'll see what happens. When I say they, I just mean all the different weather services out there that I can find, which are all computer systems. It's not just like a person doing it. It's all computers, but for whatever reason, this area has skunked them really bad. You just cannot predict it. There we go. Another tank bites the dust. All right, I'll hit the road. I just been cruising back to the farmyard, leaving the truck there. I go 35 miles or 37 miles an hour in this thing, so it's getting close to the brute speed. And I'm only 1.5 miles from the farmyard, so it's real easy just to cruise back and forth. But when we get further out, we'll probably tender the trucks to the field, and then I'll be that much faster.